Alright then. Hello everybody. How is it going? Well, let me take two on that. Hello everybody. How is it going? And welcome back to, I think this is episode 4 of the driver career in F1 2021. And yeah, we're back once again at it. We are back in the headquarters, and we do have a message from the last time that we had something go on, which is Francisco telling us that wanting to tell us about the ERS fault that we had, and he says, "Hi, the team have been investigating the cause of that ERS fault you ran into on the track. We should consider investing in powertrain upgrades to aid them in their further research and help reduce further issues in the future. With everyone on the team actively working on ironing out this issue, we've managed to push development forward slightly. Thanks, Francesco." And our research and development awarded us over 200 points. So, let's go ahead and look into some upgrades, shall we? We do have a powertrain upgrade that we could work on. We have 4 days till the undernose tuning gets done. Chassis, we have about 27 days. Durability, we don't have anything going at the moment. So, I mean, Francesco obviously offers us to start powertrain development, and I'm going to actually do that. We are going to be looking into standardizing this. This should be ready before the Spanish Grand Prix if all goes well. If all goes well, of course. And yeah, we're also going to look into developing some weight reduction by developing the Monaco structure, which also should be ready before the Spanish Grand Prix. But we'll see where it goes. Durability on our engine is looking pretty good. I don't think we need to make any changes yet. Yuki Tsunoda doesn't seem very happy with where he is, especially in the standings and stuff. But yeah, we haven't done any customization, as you can see. Everything kinda pretty much is the same. We've had the audio emotes.
Thank you. I need a
Still
moment.
say the same, basically. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead, pass the time, and see if we get our upgrade
Okay,
first.
we've had the new parts
Nice.
come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with
Beautiful.
us for the next Grand Prix.
Beautiful. So, fabrication upgrades are done. The undernose is good to go. I think we'll look at the rear downforce next, which is the side ponds. But for now, we'll have to wait a little bit of time. So we're going to have our weekly resources. Beautiful. I think we are going to start working on the side pods. It'll be done just a little after the Spanish Grand Prix, but we don't have enough yet, so so we're just gonna keep going. Alright, we'll have the break going on. Alright, so here we are with the season break. Yeah! Yep. Of course, it's not doing HQ, that's fine. So, we should now have enough for the side pods, which is a major downgrade that should put us ahead of Alpine on paper, but we'll see where it takes us. We'll obviously see where it takes us, and hopefully the other upgrades will be through the system.
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week.
Yikes.
So the entire development package for this weekend has failed.
Yikes.
Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen.
We'll have to redevelop it. That's fine. We'll redevelop it. It'll be done in 8 days, hopefully. Hopefully before the Spanish Grand Prix. Nice. The hydraulics are good to go. Beautiful. So our hydraulics are good to go. So we could work on the rear under tray. Beautiful. Which also will help with weight distribution. We have 7 days until the other thing we're looking at to potentially help us.
Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
Beautifully done. Alright, so we've got some beautifully done stuff. We got the monocle structure done. So we could get cable density done. We also have our powertrain ignition done, which is beautiful. We can't use the stage gears or work on the ERS yet, but, you know, we have some things that we can work on and work towards. So Spanish Grand Prix, we're going to be looking at having made some fairly major upgrades overall. As you can see, of course, AlphaTauri, we're catching up with Alpine. The AlphaTauri team is catching up with Alpine, so we'll see where this goes, everybody. Alright, let's go to the race weekend, everybody. There we go, Spanish Grand Prix. And I think this is where I'm going to go ahead and leave it to future me to commentate while editing, or commentate where we need to. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and leave it to future me to talk to you all. So I'll meet you all back after the Spanish Grand Prix, I think, everyone. I always keep forgetting whenever it comes to getting into this that, you know, we always go into this part first. But future me, once we get into the session, we'll start talking to you all and editing. So, but you all know the plan by now. We're going to just take you on a lap around one of the practice things that I'm doing, and then I'll, you know, bring you back up with qualifying and the race. But with that being said, let's read what the messages say. Francesco. Morning, everyone. I've attached the preview for this week's weekend's Grand Prix. If you have any questions, come see me in the data center. Francesco, thank you. Francesco. Development updates. Morning, everyone. As you know, we've had some of our developments come through. However, not everything passed quality control. Junie, Yuki will need you to confirm the redevelopment on your R&D screens. Everyone else, I'll update you if that affects you individually. Beautiful. Good to know. Hello, Jeff. Jeff. The latest forecasts are in for qualifying and the race. Looks like it should be a nice dry all the way through. The full report is attached. Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Yep, dry conditions all weekend. Alright, so we're ready to go. And with that being said, like I said, I'll leave it to future me to talk to you. But before we do, I just want to tell you that I probably have the difficulty a little too low currently for the you know, for what we got. So I'm going to raise the difficulty up to about 57 for now. Everything else pretty much is going to be staying the same. Obviously, I might change low fuel mode. If I feel like we're getting too much in our own acclaim or whatever, we will change it. But I am going to leave it at default and leave all this as it is. So yeah. That's pretty much something that we're going to be doing. Otherwise, let's head into the car and I'll leave it to future me to talk to you all while during the race or qualifying. Alright, and so here we are, pretty much going down the loop on a practice run for tire management, and I figured that this was probably the best place to join in and show you a loop around what I've been doing during practice and what I've done during practice. And you know, at first I had to do another lap of this. At first I did the first lap and I just couldn't really get it done. I think it was the timing that slowed me down. But yeah, we came back on the second lap around and we were able to magically get it. So enjoy this lap and enjoy the little bit of me getting some practice in around Spain. And you know, one of the tracks that I've really enjoyed over the course of the F1 season. The Spanish Grand Prix has always been kind of a course that I've really enjoyed over this season. I mean, you will see me flashback from time to time on this practice to get it right, because, you know, while I do have confidence in this track, I'm still not really certain where all the break points are in my own opinion and from what the car can handle. But anyway, yeah, enjoy this content, enjoy the lap around, and I will see you most likely on qualifying. So I will meet you there.
Program complete and a job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so...
Alright, so this is just a quick little bit to show you quick practice again, because I'm pretty sure I showed it to you before. But in case you were wondering, quick practice is just like a little mini game, if not a mini series, to help you get some of the practice programs that you may have struggled with done, and be able to get the maximum amount of points out of it. But you know, this is just how it works. I mean, many people probably early game are going to probably use practice 1 and 2 to try and get those things done. Me, I still like driving out the practices and stuff and just enjoying the overall practice runs. So I do them myself. But yeah, that's quick practice. I just wanted a little explanation on that. Alright then, so here we are in Q1, and pretty much I took my first lap around and just didn't really get a good time. So you kind of joined me on the second lap around this area where I really got a much better time overall, considerably, even though it didn't really start as well as I was hoping. And once again, I wasn't extremely confident in my own skills with some of my braking points, especially considered that, you know, I've been trying to learn how to drive with a controller a little bit better, and I've gotten a little bit of the secret down now, especially as I'm editing this video. But you're going to see a lot of the times where I'm kind of just struggling to find the right brake points, even though, like I've said before, I've kind of driven or played this for years. But you know, on PC, it feels like this game runs a lot smoother, if not a lot faster, than it did on console when I was playing on console all those years ago. So, you know, kind of doing the switch from console to PC or PC to console, it kind of, you know, made it a little more to the point where I just ended up having a little bit more than I bargained for. But, you know, that's one thing that's just been happening with me, having switched over and just kind of getting used to the new car, especially considered that, you know, as y'all probably have noticed, in F1, the car always changes over the year. It's never the same car, so you kind of have to just hope for the best and hope that this year's car is better, if not maybe a little better than last year's car in some cases, or, you know, it's overall just a better car in general. For me, you know, while I do have F1 2020, the last time I played this game was like F1 2017, so I kind of have a long break between time. But, you know, you're going to see the rest of this lap. You're going to see how I did get into, I believe, Q2 here. And, yeah, I'll meet you on Q2. Alright, so I'm back again, and, yeah, looking back at the data, I did make a pretty decent lap, and I really thought I was going to get into Q2 here, but as you probably won't notice at the end of this, I really didn't get into Q2, even though it was a strong lap, even though I really had a decent position, and even though I was kind of feeling like, okay, I'm in 14th right now, I'm in 15th. There's no way I'm going to get out of Q1, or not be out of Q1, but, yeah, unfortunately, you will sit here. I just got knocked out with a few fast laps that happened near the end, and, you know, it surprises me, but I don't know how sometimes these computers bring out just such a fast lap near the dying portions or dying spots of, you know, the qualifying, but hey, it happens. Anyway, with that being said, as you'll see, me and George Russell are having a little bit of a rivalry, and we get a good start on the rivalry, but, yeah, there's still a lot of time, and who knows what will happen between now and the end of the rivalry. Anyway, I will meet you on the race day, and we will see where things go from there.
Obviously, I expected a better session, but these things happen from time to time. Try to make up for it in the race.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Lando Norris and Leclerc, Ricciardo, Vettel, Sainz and Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Yuki Tsunoda and Mick Schumacher, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Ava and George Russell, Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Alright, and so here we are, basically ready for the race, and we're going to be probably going with the one-stopper, aka mediums to hards. So we're going to get the formation lap, and let's just see how things go, shall we? So yeah, enjoy the formation lap. It's just going to be me, well, you know, driving through around the course and pretty much getting things
Everything looks good on the power unit cycle, so let's concentrate on bringing tyres and brakes up to temperature.
Good, and everything's okay. So I will meet you in the first lap of the race.
Radar is clear, weather is looking good for now.
Alright then, so here we are, first lap of the race, and we're going to get started on the Spanish Grand Prix. So hopefully things will go well, but yeah, things pretty much got a little chaotic at the beginning of this race, and you'll see that the race kind of got a little chaotic overall. It was just like this first lap just kind of was like, oof, crazy. We had a lot of things happen, but you know, we gained a few positions. We managed to get ourselves into a good position, or at least somewhat good position. So the first lap of the race was a little bit chaotic, but hopefully, yeah, things will be going a little better, and you will see the you know, the big things go on, and you know, helpful things in general. Just hopefully y'all see how the race folded out, and you know, it was pretty decent, I guess you could say. But yeah, it was a fairly interesting first lap, and with a lot of times where, yeah, things were just kind of going a little wacky for me, but we finally got to work. So yeah, enjoy the first lap. I'll meet you back on the next lap of the race. Alright then, so here we are at the beginning of lap 14, and what will be my in lap. I believe when I was doing this, I forgot my my pit time, or my pit opening, so unfortunately I ended up going probably a little bit longer than I needed to, and a little bit longer than I intended to. So what you'll see is me and Yuki Tsunoda pretty much going in at the same time. Luckily, Yuki Tsunoda was far enough ahead that he didn't really affect me that much, but too much. But you know, it doesn't mean that you know, we kind of pit at the same time, or we pretty much pit almost at the same time. So you know, with that having been said, obviously, it does mean, and it did mean, that we didn't really get the maximum out of our pit strategy, or our pits entirely. But you know, as I said, it's okay. We ended up not having it to be too pretty much out of the hard points for us, and too much of us being in each other's way. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the lap, and of course the pit, and I will meet you back on the next lap, or whenever the next lap I tune in will be.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap. You're dropping a second a lap to the car behind. 1 second. Sainz is behind you. The gap is less than a second. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 5 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 24.1. The gap to the car ahead is 6.4 seconds. Yuki is in the pits. Yuki. Green.
Alright then, so we are out of the pit stop, and a little bit of a 2.8 pit stop. Not very quick, but it was fast enough to keep ahead and hopefully get some positions back. So enjoy the rest of the lap as we kind of warm up our tires and try to get back onto a good position and good pace into the race. But yeah, with that being said, I will meet you on whatever lap I meet you on. Alright then, so here we are in the pretty much closing lap of the race. Unfortunately, this lap or race got a little out of hand, and well, you'll see that we pretty much got lapped. I mean, we held off where we could. We did what we could as far as laps go and as far as the race goes. But sadly, we just couldn't really pull off any more than we did at the moment, and what we have. But yeah, this is pretty much where the race will have ended and where the race will end. But yeah, we'll check out the highlights and stuff afterwards, and non-edited me or past me will meet you back at the end of the video. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. We're just kind of in the closing laps, and we'll just be seeing the highlights of what happened and what went on. And yeah, with that being said, thank you for joining me. I will probably say that at the end, but thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you are enjoying the Formula 1 season as far as it's gone in real life. But yeah, I will meet you all for the next race in, I believe it's Monaco, but I could be wrong. I don't remember correctly. But yeah, I will see you, well, future me will see you in the next video. As for past me, I will meet you back at the end or near the end of this video.
Another Spanish Grand Prix is over, and what a special race it was. What do you think it was, Ants, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Let's have a quick look at how the driver standings have changed. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
Yuki Tsunoda gets my vote today.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts.
You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you? You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
Why do you think you weren't as quick as your teammate today?
You had a close battle today, didn't you?
Great. Well, that's everything.
Alright then, so yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to go ahead and get ready for the Monaco Grand Prix in the next episode, but for now, that will be it for today's race. So yeah, the Spanish Grand Prix, don't worry, as I said, we're going to, and I'm going to do it now just so that you all know. We're going to turn off the traction control again. The last race, I just unfortunately put the traction control to a point where the car was basically oversteering the whole time, so that was the main problem we had with the car going forward, but should be fixed now. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and leave it at that for today. But thank you all for watching this video. Thank you for watching the next episode. We're going to go ahead and get a picture where we can for this episode. But, yeah, until the next one, everybody. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Come join us on the Monaco Grand Prix when that returns. But until then, everybody, farewell, everyone.